My name is Prince K, and here with me is Valicia. Tell me about how you see Africans in the United States.
First of all, I think I see Africans as a part of me,
Oh, yeah?
but there are some things that I question.
Okay.
I don't think that African Americans are taken seriously. I feel like you all feel more superior because you are from the motherland. I've known African men. I don't know about the women. Of course, you come to maybe get a better life, or but some have agendas.
Absolutely, I believe that.
Like, I perceive the males to want many wives.
Okay, so you think all the males want to have many wives? Is that what you think?
Or many women.
Oh, you see a lot of movies, I believe that. So you think all the
So
things...
that's not true.
I don't want to believe that. That's just movie you're talking about.
Is that not true? I mean, in your homeland, can you have many wives?
To an extent, polygamy is accepted in Africa. Is that what you want to talk
And
about?
so that's not a myth.
That's relative. So I'm not going to take it like a general context.
So it's true, correct?
Some people do that, right? Because
And so-
in America, I've been in the United States for quite some years now, and I want to believe that in America it's all about monogamy. You know what I'm saying? So when you talk
Yes.
about anything polygamy, they take an offense sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So they don't understand that in some part of Africa, polygamy is accepted, where you can have.
Right. Because it's accepted there, I feel like you all think that it's accepted here.
I don't want to. I'm not going to agree with that, because I don't want to say we agree it's accepted here, but it's a way of life there, just while we have culture. My own culture, polygamy in Africa is accepted. I'm not saying everybody will always do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Christian. You know what I'm saying? In the Christian way of life, polygamy is not accepted. Monogamy is what we practice. But we have Muslims and we have Christians. That doesn't mean some Christians don't do that. Polygamy in Africa is like, it's just like a norm. You know what I'm saying? So it happens. Like in Africa, we have different kind of religions, we have traditions and stuff like that. And
Here too.
Like I said, in the United States, basically, it's all about monogamy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just about me and my husband, and that's it, period.
That's it, yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But in Africa, we have some homes, like where I grew up from, my father married 4 wives.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying?
So so with that being said, I think that that's a learned behavior. And so you might feel like being like your dad,
No, I don't-
where you
I-
have
I-
the 4 wives.
Oh, no. I'm not gonna be like my dad, because my dad's time has come and gone. That was my dad. But for me, I'm more educated and things are more advanced now. I don't want to tread on that part. My father is my father. I am me. I got kids. I know what I want. I don't want to upset my kids. I want to do things accordingly.
Okay.
I'm trying to please myself.
I'm
At the
with
same
that.
time, I got to put my kids in consideration. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So everything got to be moderate. So it's just about me. So my father has done his own part. He has come and gone. May God rest his soul. And again, like I said earlier, he was a Muslim. I'm from a royal family, if you understand that. Being from a royal family is one thing, being a Muslim is another thing.
Okay.
So when you were like a king, for example, in Africa, like you're gonna be a king and they bring in a lot of women to you. Oh, the king is this and that. Oh, the king likes this woman and stuff like that.
So
And,
it's accepted.
It's accepted in the society at large. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? I'm just talking from a general context right now.
So do you know any males here
In America?
from Africa that still has that mentality of many women.
None that I know of. None that I know of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, none that I know of.
That's just.
I'm not saying they ain't gonna be thinking the way they wanna think, so I'm not gonna be like, I'm not a judge right now, neither am I the jury, you know what I'm saying? So people got their own lifestyle.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
In
of course.
Africa, I think in Africa we have over 2,000 or 3,000 cultures. So Africa is not a country. Africa is a continent on its own.
Right.
So I'm not gonna be the judge of millions of people in Africa. I can't be that.
Well, of course, you ask, what some of the perceptions are,
Right.
whether they're true or false. That's just one of those things. But it's just my opinion.
Absolutely, I get it.
I feel like there's really no, in general, there's not a lot of respect for women,
You think so?
or we're kind of, from the ones that I've met, women have really no say,
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying there. Yeah, I respect your perception.
You would prefer to deal with a male when it comes to business and things like that rather than a female. Is that not true?
Absolutely, because for me, for example, now, when I'm dealing with male, it's quite different from dealing with female. Female's perception is always like kind of like feminine. They kind of like soft a little bit versus male. If you're having a business with a male, most of the time it might be some kind of like we are engaging ourselves in some kind of like competitions and stuff like that. So most of the time I get things well going with female.
So would you do business with a female? Would you do?
I do business with both sex.
And respect.
I respect
that.
them. Absolutely, I do respect them.
But there are certain limitations. What would be your limitation when it comes to doing business with a female?
First of all, business is business. Don't get it wrong. It's not about the gender right now. It's not just about being a female or being a male. When I'm doing business, business is business. I don't care about you being a female or male, but I'm gonna respect the fact that I'm dealing with human beings, and we gotta respect the decorum in the business.
Okay. Well, just a story that, just from personal experience, I had a friend who owned a business.
Okay.
Her and her husband.
Right.
Her husband worked a lot, and she had a partnership with a Nigerian male.
Oh, Nigerian male?
And he didn't want to do business with her.
With a female?
He didn't want to do business with her. He only wanted to really deal with the husband.
Wow.
But the husband was working all the time, and so he clashed with my friend who also owned the business because he felt like the females are, that's not what I do. That's not how I want to talk to your husband first before I talk to you.
Right.
And I felt like, oh, okay, are most Nigerian men like that, where they don't want to deal with a female on that level because we're kind of beneath, or we're supposed to be the followers of the men and not necessarily partners with.
So I don't say things like that. When I hear people say things about Nigeria, for example, so some people say Nigeria, and I feel like even in Nigeria, I'm a Nigerian man before I came to the United States, before becoming a citizen of the United States, and I've only been to like probably 6 states in Nigeria. So when you say Nigeria is big. I'm not gonna say Nigeria is as big as all of the United States, but Nigeria is probably like 70% of Texas. But a Nigerian man, like you guys always see them, doesn't mean they represent the whole of the country. We have different tribes, we have different ethnic groups, we have different traditions. I don't know if you ever tried Nigerian food. What Nigerian food or African food do you really like, that you tried before that you really like?
I don't know per se if it was African food, but I do, well, Nigerian food.
Okay.
But I like suya.
You like
That's
suya?
one of my favorites.
Not too spicy for you?
It's good. I like spice.
Okay.
I like spice. I don't like the bread, the fufu.
Oh, the fufu is what you call the bread.
I don't like the
It
texture.
tastes like bread to you?
It doesn't taste. It doesn't have a taste. I don't know if you dip and then you eat with your hands, and I'm a silverware, fork and spoon,
like
knife
fork and spoon, the seafood
type of
restaurant.
person.
Right,
yeah,
right.
so I'm not. That's something different.
Different.
I'm willing to try.
Okay.
I'm not a goat eater. Or curry, the spice curry. I'm not really.
When you say spice
Familiar
curry,
with it.
majority of the time when you say something like curry, it's like the Jamaican food you're talking about.
Oh, okay. So Africans doesn't.
We do, but most of the time we do some kind of like spicy stuff. We don't call it curry most of the time. But when you go to Jamaica, I've been in America for quite some years now.
Okay, so I'm getting it mixed up then,
I
right?
get it. Okay, you're probably used to the black folks.
What? I mean, I thought Africans like goat, curry goat.
We like goat. We like it goat. We like
Okay,
goat. We
so
like
how do you like your goat?
No, we like our goat spicy, but I've been to a couple of Jamaican spots. It's always like curry this, curry that. When it comes to goat,
Okay, but not
Jamaicans
necessarily.
always use curry. Africans always use spicy, peppered and stuff like that. The way
Okay.
you guys go, we go to some American stuff, they're gonna be like ghost pepper. You know what I'm saying? Like when you go to like I lost the names right now. You know, it's
Okay.
always like ghost pepper this, ghost pepper that, and stuff like that.
Well, tell me this: with you being in America,
Right.
do you prefer your African cuisine over American food? I mean,
My African cuisine, I'm not gonna say I prefer it over American because I'm not gonna lie, Americans do got some nice food. I love you guys' food. I
okay,
ain't gonna lie about
what's your favorite? I told you mine.
I will do,
Suya.
yeah, I do like you guys do your right, I'm lost of names now, but I'm gonna come up with something like I like your the fish. You guys call it salmon. I like your salmon. I like the way you guys put it up with some cucumbers and some spinach and stuff like that.
Okay.
It tastes real good. You guys got a lot of good food. I ain't gonna lie about that.
So if you were to have a wife, American wife, would you be okay with her not necessarily knowing how to make African food?
Okay, first of all, I'm not a foodie. Let's start from that.
Okay.
I love good food. If the food is good, I am
You're good with whatever.
That's it. I don't care about whatever you make. It tastes good. I'm good.
Okay. Do you cook?
I know how to cook real good. I've been cooking since I was young. Like,
So that shouldn't be a problem.
it, never a problem. I promise you.
Oh, okay. Okay. I mean, that's just something I've always wondered. Like, when you're here, is that what you eat at home? African food? Or do you actually do American food at home?
Okay, but I come now. I have a daughter. Most of the time that does my cooking. I ain't gonna lie about that. She's 9 plus. She's almost in her 20s. She cooks real good. I don't have a problem with food. I'm not a food like I told you earlier. Eat good, eat healthy. That's me.
Okay.
It's not all about how it tastes sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't even like the food like that. Like, oh, I'm hungry, I gotta eat. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not like some people like you guys see us like we're gonna be like in the bush, like say, hey, Wakanda. No, we don't. You know what I'm saying? You know, like that. You know what I'm saying? No, like I've been with some Americans that saw us and they were like, oh, do you guys have tails and shit? No, I don't want to curse right now, you know what I'm saying? But we don't have no tail, like we're just like regular people, you know what I mean?
That's not what we
No,
do.
for real.
That's not
So I've seen some Americans that'll be like, how do you guys eat? I'll be like, well, silverware. You guys always eat with your hands. I was like, not all the time.
So that is a myth because I feel like
Not
that.
all the time. We use silverware sometimes to eat in Africa. Not like you think.
So the fufu you eat with your hand, you dip it in the
I
stuff?
can't eat fufu with silverware.
Okay.
I can't.
Is that the norm?
If I choose not to, doesn't make me Tazan.
Oh, okay. Okay. So my question too is, you love your country, right? You love Africa.
I love Africa. I love the black race. I love America. I love people. I love good energy.
Okay. Because I've always wanted to visit. I've never gotten a chance to. I've always wanted to do that. Some people feel like, let's move to Africa. I've had people say that.
How soon do you want to move?
Well, but you're here, so what is it about America? Why aren't you in Africa?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Why aren't you there?
Okay, good. So in Africa right now, if you see Africa, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, we have some Americans too in Africa.
Oh.
Take it or leave it. Yeah, I know, probably because you're not used to the terrain in Africa, so you might probably think all Africans that come to the United States. I beg to differ to that. But the thing I'm gonna tell you right now is, me being in America is a choice.
Oh.
I choose to be here. Doesn't mean I don't have other places I can always be.
Okay,
You know
so
what I'm saying?
why are you choosing to be here? What is it that?
But okay,
You know.
for me, for example, I came here because I was like, okay, let me go have a master's degree in America, because I never studied in America in my life.
Okay. Is it not valid there? Like,
It is valid though. You can always have a master's degree in Africa. There ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? I had my bachelor's in Africa. I have my bachelor's in public administration. You know what I'm saying?
So does America accept your bachelor's from there?
Absolutely. You gotta.
Okay, because I've always wondered that. I never.
It's also accepted in the United States. It's also accepted. So coming to the United States, for example, like me now, was like my little baby. He's never been to Africa in his life. He's gonna be 10 in November. He's always been here. I was like, okay, let me just take a bold step, go see my little boy. That I was always wanted to see his father. And I came here. I got here and everything was good. I was like, okay, America ain't bad like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can always be here. It's all always about the black folks, so it's all good.
Okay. Okay. So you won't go back ever?
I might go back. I'm not saying I gotta go back, but I might go back.
You might. Okay. So.
Might is a choice. It's not absolute, 100%.
Well, yeah, it's a choice. So, say if you were to marry an American woman and you wanted to go back to Africa, but she does not, how would you handle that?
Now, she doesn't want to go to Africa,
She wouldn't want to move there.
but she wants to stay here. So what I'm gonna ask that lady, if she wants to be my wife, like you said, I'm just talking hypothetically now. So we're living, if you're married, out of it, or you're married now, right? We're talking hypothetically.
Right,
So
of
if I
course.
was there with a woman right now, we would have talked about that long time back.
Okay.
Would you like to move with me to my country or not? Or I have to stay in your country all my life?
And you're
It gotta be something we gotta agree on before the marriage, like you said.
okay.
Make sense to you?
It makes sense.
God
It
bless
makes
you.
sense. It makes sense. But I don't know. I just feel like, you ask about what we think. And I think that African men feel superior.
Okay, you feel will feel superior
And
over
so
Americans,
you wouldn't
right?
want, if what you say goes in a relationship or anything, right? I mean, so if she's like, I don't want to go, I want to stay here in my country, you would be okay.
That's kind of like some stereotype kind of stuff right now. So
Well, I mean, that's kind of what we're talking about, correct?
Yeah, you're
I mean,
correct. That makes a lot of sense.
stereotypical things
Yeah,
that
right,
we
right.
might think.
well, I get it.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I get it, and I quite respect your opinion. But what I feel about that is that Africans will always be Africans. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially when you guys don't understand. I'm not gonna say you guys, because I don't want to stigmatize. I don't want to stereotype either way. You know what I'm saying? But I want to believe that everybody, be you American, Jamaican, the black folks, wherever you come from, we all have what we want for our life, and we have our own lifestyle. So it's not gonna be stereotype like this is this, this is that. I can wake up tomorrow morning and be like, okay, I don't want you. It doesn't mean that because I'm African is why I want to do this. An American can also wake up tomorrow and be like, oh, you African, I don't want you no more.
So do you really think that in a relationship between a man and a woman, an African man and a female American, you really think that you can vibe and have a marriage?
Absolutely. We can always vibe with anybody that's human. It's not about the color of your skin or wherever you come from. If the vibe is good, we're good, we're good. That's it, period. I don't believe in all of that. I don't believe in sentiments.
But the culture is so different, you know?
That is why
And those perceptions and those myths that we might believe and think it's so different. I mean, I really, in my opinion, I don't know if it would work. I don't know. I mean, it might. I think love is love, of course, but I just feel like sometimes in a relationship it may not work because of the differences.
There's always differences all the time. Be you African, even if you're dealing with an African or an American, you know what you want, right? Correct?
Right.
So it's not about the race most of the time. That's why we're having this conversation right now.
Correct.
It's not about be you or he's African or he's American. You've been in a relationship with some Americans that didn't work out. Doesn't mean, oh, he's African, that was why it didn't work out. You know what I'm saying? That's some stereotype stuff.
It is. I mean,
you know what I'm saying? But we ain't gonna see it in that light. You've been in a relationship with Americans that didn't work out doesn't mean, oh, because it didn't work out with you and an African makes it bad for African. Oh, Africans are these. Oh, I can't deal with Africans. They're too crazy.
And that's what I hear from
You're crazy though.
No, seriously, I'm just being honest. Like, it's like if I told a girlfriend, you know, I'm dating an African. Oh my God. Like, oh my gosh, they're just so persistent. They're so aggressive. You know, I wouldn't, you know, and the many wives, you know, you got to think about that. They believe in having not just many wives, but girlfriends.
No, I disagree. Not all of them. No,
okay. I'm just saying, that's just what I hear.
People cheat all over the world. So that's some stereotype stuff we're talking about right now. People cheat. It's not about having many wives or concubines and stuff like that.
So y'all not crazy. You're not aggressive.
Is King Solomon an African? In the Bible.
As far as I know.
King Solomon an African. Tell me about that.
I can't tell you about King Solomon. But I do know what we feel. And again, I'm speaking for myself.
Right.
But I do hear it from girlfriends. Like, oh, wow, an African? No.
Why?
Like, no.
So I want to ask you now about the girlfriend. Did the girlfriend get it good with the American she dealt with? She must have been with a couple of Americans before she tried African, correct?
It's just what we hear and what we perceive, you know, and I'm glad that you having this talk or this show because it's real. Like, we really think that. Like, you know? And so it's good that you can put it in
I respect your opinion. I respect your opinion. You're making a lot of sense. I ain't gonna lie about that.
Well, I mean, that's just how it is. Now, personally, I would love, because I am African American, and I would love to go back home.
I gotta check your ancestry though.
You know what?
I want to check your ancestry. I want to know where you really come from. Like the part of Africa you really come from, like the percentage of African.
I've always wanted to do that. I wanted to do the Ancestry.com thing so I can find out exactly, because I know I'm from somewhere over there. You know what I'm saying?
She's probably a Nigerian.
But I just don't know if it's, would I still be respected?
I'll still respect you. Anyway, thank you for coming to Prescale Live TV. I really appreciate you, Felicia.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, and like you said, you're what do you call yourself?
I'm a counselor by trade, but
you're a counselor, and thank you for coming to Prescale Live TV, and I appreciate you.
Thank you.